Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. Welcome to all of you. I hope that your Tuesday is off to a good start. Well, one of my prides and joys here on the Rancho is my 25-gallon Kentucky-made column still here. And over the years, I did a lot of videos about moonshining, and recently, I guess some of those videos are starting to pop up again and get a little bit of traction on YouTube. And one of the questions that I always get asked, particularly recently, the last 3 or 4 days, is how does a still like this work for producing alcohol? And I thought I would do something different today and go over how exactly this works. My moonshining days are probably long behind me. It's a lot of work to make up ferment, 25 gallons of ferment, to transfer it to distill, and then take 5 or 6 hours to run it off. It's a very labor-intensive process. You have to mess around with grains and 50-pound bags of sugar, which is like the energizer that produces the alcohol, and the grains are what gives it flavor. But let's go ahead and I'm going to turn this around and we'll talk about how a still like this works. This is really a beautiful unit, Kentucky made, down in Barlow, Kentucky by Hillbilly Stills. It's all stainless steel and copper, and it has performed beautifully. Obviously, once you make your ferment, and I'm not here to discuss the making of ferment, I have a lot of videos on there. And once you load it in, and typically always will load it in up here, this has a little clamp that can be removed, and you load in your ferment. That is grain, sugar, and water and yeast that has fermented for about a week or so. And that creates, as the yeast chew through the sugars and the grains, it produces alcohol as a byproduct of waste by the yeast, and it accumulates in the mash. The trick is the still is used to separate that out, and alcohol being lighter than water, it's going to be the first thing that boils off and gets collected. You start with your methanols, your acetones. You get rid of them first, and then you start collecting what's called the head. You start collecting what's called the hard after getting rid of the low alcohols. When you get up to about 182 degrees, you will start to take off the ethanol, and you can see I have a thermometer here, and the action always begins around 178 degrees because alcohol has a lower boiling point than water. But once your ferment is loaded into the pot, we have a 240 outlet here that we plug it into, and once it starts bringing it up to temperature, you don't start immediately removing the alcohol. You let it kind of collect. It starts to rise to the top of the pot. And once it reaches a certain temperature and it's been heating up for a while, you can start to release the alcohol, but you don't want to take it over to the other side. When the alcohol starts to rise up the column, there's 2 water jackets here. There's one here surrounding these windows here, and it has its own temperature gauge up there. And then there's a secondary water jacket here. All of these are fed by well water as a cooling agent. It's very important to have a good source of water. That's why moonshiners typically set up by creeks and things like that. But once it's loaded and reaches temperature, the alcohol will want to start to rise into the column, but you don't immediately want to begin capturing it. You want it to come up, hit the water jacket. The water is turned on. When the steam of the alcohol hits the sides, it drops right back down inside in something called refluxing. It's just a continuous rising and then falling down as the alcohol vapors hit the side of the water jacket here and causes it to condense and fall. Once you've done that for about a half hour or so, it concentrates the alcohol, the ethanol at the top of it. So once you start to really wanting to collect the alcohol, you reduce the water in the jacket here, and that allows the alcohol vapors to start to go over to the other side, steamed alcohol, where you have a secondary water condenser that is a cold water jacket. And when the alcohol vapors hit the side here, they condense and drop down into this, and we use a gauge here that tells us what kind of proof we're running here. And you'll put a collecting jar underneath of what's called the parrot here, and it's the takeoff point for the alcohol. So it's really a two-stage process, and it's controlled by how much cold water is in the jackets of these units. So typically 25 gallons of mash will take about 4 to 6 hours to run off, and you will collect about 2 gallons of ethanol or alcohol that's drinkable, that comes in around 180 proof, or 90 to 92% pure. So that's the process. That's the still. It's called a column still, and it sort of mimics what you see in petroleum cracking plants. The higher the vapors go, that's why they build very tall towers, because the finer the distillate you get off, the higher it goes. So you might have things like very high grade gasoline, and then at the lower points you can take off, at the lower levels you can take off bunker fuel, number 2 heating oil, things of that nature. So it all requires heat, and it all requires the product to rise through the column, hit the first stage of condensation, which makes it drop back down into what we call refluxing. And then when you're finally ready to really begin taking off product, you reduce the water in this jacket so that the alcohol doesn't condense but comes over the side, hits the secondary water jacket, and then when it touches the sides of that water jacket, it then condenses into pure alcohol. So there it is. Many people have asked, and that is exactly how a column still works. Now, many people have asked over the years, is it legal to own a still? And the answer is yes. There's nothing illegal about owning a still. A lot of people produce essences and extracts from things like mint and other flowers and things. They get the essence of the oils out of it by condensing it. In New Zealand, it is legal to operate a still for a limited amount of alcohol. In the United States, at last check, it's legal to make 200 gallons of beer or wine per year with no permitting needed. Now, if you operate a still and you put heat to it, the second that you start to collect distillate on the other side, you are breaking federal law. The United States does not allow the production. Hence, this thing has been cold for years here now, and it's just something that I don't really care to be involved in anymore. I've got bigger fish to fry. But yes, it is legal to own a still. But as with all the old revenuers in the 1920s and 30s, to actually bust somebody for being a moonshiner, you need to actually catch them in the process of collecting the distillate. That's why the revenuers would hide out in the woods and wait till the actual process was underway, and then come in and bust the operation, bust up the still and things like that. But it is a nice addition to the Rosy Cave here out in the Shine Shack. It's how this place got its, how this building got its name. But of course, that was many moons ago. But it's still a nice talking piece here on the Rancho. So with that, I'm going to close out today. Thumbs up are appreciated. I always love you taking time here. I do try to answer some of the viewer questions, and a lot of moonshining questions have been popping up lately. So very labor intensive, kind of a drag to do it, particularly when you get older, humping around bags of sugar and everything else. And I really don't ever mind leaving that part of my life behind. Thanks again, and thumbs up, as I said, are appreciated, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.